guys, welcome to Call Kar
Yaaar.
Call Kar Yaaar, 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 Call Kar Yaaar.
We're two long distance besties. I live in UK, she lives in Dubai, hence long distance. But how has your week been, Kushi?
The week was quite interesting. I had gone to a wedding, which was like a big fat Punjabi wedding proper. And then my family's flying down for one more wedding. Like my mom, my dad, my brother are flying down. So I guess it's wedding season all over. And
Wow.
it's busy, but it's fun, I think. What time do
Was it
you
like,
like?
was it very hectic? Because like weddings are hectic as
Yes,
hell, right?
it was because there was like it's always back to back, right? But it's so much fun also seeing people after so long and just having fun. I just have a question. It made me think like
Okay.
I don't want to get married, so this is not applicable to me. But if you were to have a wedding, what kind of wedding would you have?
So there are two answers to this question.
So why are there two answers? You want two weddings?
Depends on the person. Like that person should have some choice in life. Like if every decision I make in
Oh.
life, then like I should get married to myself, like the lady in Gujarat who did like a few years back. But so there are two answers. One is either just a simple court marriage,
Cute.
or second
Can I be your
is,
witness?
you can be my witness in jail.
Never mind. Took a very dark turn.
But second is so a small intimate court marriage is just like family, like closest family and friends, and just okay, sign paper and get lost, right? And the second one is what I would want to have in a sense,
Yeah.
if everything works out, if I find a person firstly, but that is going to like not a destination but like a staycation with like at less than or at least like 70 people, 70. So like very small crowd. I told this to my
Yes.
mom and she got a little tension when I told her that I would go in my pajamas to do my wedding rituals. She's like, because she expected that, she like, if Call Kar Yaaar becomes big, you'll expect like a big fat Indian wedding. And I'm just like, no, actually if I ever get married, like have those functions, I would like call like 70 people, or like, or 70 is just like a random number, like very
Yeah.
less people is what I mean. The people who love me, who only want the best for me, and like it is not a show or like
Yeah.
putting out we are XYZ. It is just people who love me
It's a
and
celebration of your love.
celebration of my love, A, and B, it is me maybe entering a new chapter in life, and those people
Yeah.
are they've always seen my journey till now, or they've seen my journey and they're like supporting me for my next journey in a sense.
Right. That's
Yeah.
cute.
But at one point you had like a small hesitation ki you may want to get married, may not. How does that like work for you? Like why is marriage such a maybe not a end goal? Is it only because of your unconventional ways of adopting, or is there some other reason also?
I think the majority of it is the unconventional way of adopting. See, I believe in never saying never, right? So marriage is one such thing where you never say never. Mama, papa, please do not force immediately after you've heard this. I know my mother's just shun, and like she showed all her 32 teeth with a bright smile, but no, mama, calm down. It's something that if it happens ever, it happens. It's not something that I am actively going to look forward to. It's not something that I'm actively going to work towards.
Okay.
But to me, I think alignment and compatibility are extremely important, especially in a marriage, right? And when
Yeah.
I have the decision to adopt, which is not a very common decision, A, and B, it is something that can affect your life, right? Because you've had, like, suppose my partner would have had a certain way of having their children for the amount of years that they've been on this planet. Like, they would have been like, okay, at least since they were a child, they would have wanted their own children. And it could be biological children, and there's nothing wrong with that. But because that is not something that I would want, and this is a major life decision, I don't think I would ever want to enforce it onto somebody. And I have not met that many men who have wanted to adopt, samne se. So at the moment, the stance stands that marriage is not for me. But if it happens, then yes, it happens. We'll
But
be
can I,
down to it.
but I can ask you a question.
Yeah.
So I know of a couple in Leeds, actually, where I'm staying right now. She's working in my field, so that's how I know her, and I met her in a few social occasions. And they're a married couple, right? And they not necessarily want to have kids in the future. So both of them don't want to
Right.
have kids.
Right.
There are people, their role models like Sushmita Sen or Ravina Tandon, who both of them, I'm pretty sure they've also adopted kids, if I'm not
Yes.
wrong. I'm
Yes, they
not
have.
very clear. Priyanka Chopra went through surrogacy. Shilpa Shetty went through surrogacy. I know it's just celebrities, but these are some people everyone knows, right?
Yeah.
So just because of one unconventional method of adopting, why are you closing out a whole door of marriage? Like,
See,
it's a
it's
whole
not.
future of compatibility.
I agree, and it's very important also, because companionship is very important, 100%. I'm not closing the door off entirely, like I mentioned. If it happens, and if someone comes across, and see, I don't want to be the person that is kind of forcing them to change, right?
Yeah.
If they have the natural want to adopt, and we are compatible, great. Who's saying that it
Okay.
will never happen? But like you mentioned, a lot of, I've seen that mostly women do want to adopt, men do want biological children, and especially because this is also such a, I know it should technically just be within the couple, but it also becomes a familial decision, especially with a guy, because it's their family's legacy apparently that is being taken forward, right, biologically as well. So a lot of the times the guy and their families can have an issue when it comes to marriage with somebody who doesn't want to give birth. So and to me, I think being a mother is 100 times more important than being a wife. So I would, if I ever have to choose, it would always be being a mother. And marriage is kind of scary in today's world. So I'm just like, it's okay if it doesn't happen, we're good. We're avoiding one scary thing at a time.
So if
It's
you
fine.
meet someone who's compatible to you, would you just maybe do a live-in after a few years, like after a few months of knowing each other and seeing that, okay, maybe we are compatible and maybe I would want to take it to a next stage? Would that be like a live-in relationship, or like, have you ever thought about it? Or how does it?
Yes.
Okay.
I have thought about it, and I think that would be the natural progression of the relationship. Um, right? If they want to, but again, it's something that is complicated, because if, see, to me, it doesn't, it's very complicated in my head, because if they want to have adopted kids, or if they're okay with adopted kids, I'm completely fine with marrying them then, right? Because everything else I can still figure out. To me, at least, I can navigate through the other things as long as basic compatibility in this is a major tick. Then I'm okay with marrying them. But if they are not okay with adopted kids, then what am I going to do living in with them? Because then to me, it just means that that relationship doesn't have a very definite future. Because at one point they will want to get married and they will want to have their own kids, and I don't want that. So that relationship will have no definite future, and then I'm like, then why? You know? Like, I would love the idea of a live-in, but if you want to adopt, then I'm down to getting just getting married, and obviously living in before, to understand the kind of person that you are before we ever put kids into that situation and in that equation. But if, suppose, for example, if I do end up having kids, because I do have my own life timeline as well, and that doesn't depend on a partner. So suppose if I do end up having kids and then I find a partner who's compatible and who's this, but then they want their own kids, I'm not going to get into a live-in relationship with them. Understood?
Oh my god, she's like a teacher. Understood? No, but that's what I was thinking about, right? Like in yours, it gets, see, if you meet someone prior to you adopting, it is your compatibility. But
Yeah.
if there are kids in picture, it is also the compatibility of that person with those kids. Because,
I don't think it's just in this case, because now like divorces and blended families are increasing
right,
so much
yeah.
that it's become a very normal thing to be compatible with your partner's kids also. So it's not something that's completely unachievable,
Right.
but it is something that has to be navigated with a lot of sensitivity, I think, because when kids are involved, it can get very tricky very quickly.
With a kid involved, you have to be so much more intentional, because when you are looking for like maybe a life partner or what do you say, a boyfriend or whatever it is, it is only, you only think about yourself, you're kind of being selfish there. But when you add a kid to the mix, you have to be so much more intentional and, like you said, more sensitive.
The thing is, I don't think that is. See, when you're looking for a relationship, maybe, right? Maybe you're being a little more selfish. But when you're looking for a life partner, or when you're like deciding if someone is worth being a husband or a wife, you are looking at the life, right, that you're going to be having. So I read somewhere that you don't just marry your husband, you marry the father of your kids.
Yeah.
You marry the son to your parents, because he's also going to be taking care of them, and especially in a South Asian dynamic. So I think with marriage in general, you have to be extremely intentional. And I don't think you should be entering any such commitment unless you are 100% sure of the person. Because when you're entering something that long term and that intense in commitment, it has to be something that is very, very, very well thought of. Right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Why do you sound like you're being a teacher? What do you think? Understood. No,
Man, this is a nice topic. I'm very like passionate about it. So I'm very interested to know your point of view, because we both have like different but kind of similar points of views, and we've discussed this.
no. For me, when I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I can like look at a person and be like, this person is going to be my husband. I don't think I am at a stage or ever will look at someone and be like, this is it, right?
Yeah.
So it, for me, the natural progression of meeting someone, seeing how compatible we are, and then seeing if I have a future. Maybe this way takes more time, but I would like to take it that slowly instead of just making a decision by just seeing someone thinking, oh, you know what, we are compatible.
No, agreed, 100%.
Or like-
But do you think that's because you are 23, like you're almost going to be 23? So do you think it's because you're 23 and you're relatively young, right? So obviously marriage is not going to be the first thing on our minds at this point. On our minds, a lot of other things like our career and just our friends and travel and finding out about yourself and just relationships in general are going to be on our minds and not marriage. But do you think once you get slightly older, because I've heard people talk about this, and I have a lot of older friends, and whenever I speak to them about dating and relationships, they say that the first thing we look at is, are we compatible for life? Because now we don't want to waste time on people who are not compatible. Right?
Yeah.
So do you think it's the age that's having that? Because that's also normal and that's actually quite natural for us at this point. But do you think that's something that the age contributes to?
maybe, because at this point there are other things that I would need to achieve in life, right?
Of course.
So marriage or love is not in the top of my list. But saying that, I had this, I don't know it yet, I've not thought about it, but I think I have this thing that by 28 to 30s when I get married, and if I don't get married, like if I don't find my partner in that frame, and it's not like 28 exactly I need to get married, right?
Yeah.
until 28, I may look for someone.
Jan 7th on Ananya's 28th birthday, she'll be doing fairas over there.
Not really. Like, see, if I meet someone at my 29 years old, also I'm fine. But I'll spend
Yeah.
2 years of getting to know that person. I don't want to hurry that process. But I
Right.
know that the time I'll stop looking is at 35. After 35, I'm like, I would rather just do a single life. Maybe adopt kids like Kushi. But
But
because
love has no age. You could find your partner at 40, 45. Who knows?
not, I don't know, like for me, I'm just like, by 35 ho gaya. After, imagine if I meet the person on Jan 6th, whenever I'm turning 20, 30, 35, then
In
I'll give 2 more
2038.
years. So I'll get married when I'm 37, but I'll stop looking at 35. Do I make sense?
Okay.
Like, that's a mathematics in my
What
brain.
what if somebody just naturally happens to come into your life when you're like 40 and hopefully you're married and happily married by then, but if you're not and someone ends up coming, into your life at 40, then is that a door shut or is that still a window open?
See, I said I'm not actively looking.
Oh,
So if
okay.
someone comes
Got
when
it,
I'm
got
like
it.
a
Never say
dadi
never.
amma with no hair, never say never, maybe, yeah. But at the same time, I was just thinking about it. In this generation, and also like past few years, boomers to like 1990s ka people, a lot of them are getting into like live-in relationships and everything, and that makes me think, what is the reason for marriage then? Do I make sense? Like, is it just like anyways you're living with that person, you're spending your whole day with that, not spending your whole day, but like you're spending your winding down time with them. You are,
Yeah.
doing every possible thing a married couple does. Then what is the use of a marriage? Do I make
You're
sense?
right. I think you mentioned that it's a legal contract in a way.
Yeah.
You're right, because the thing is, marriages were introduced for that reason. Sociologically, they were introduced for the reason of law and that this person, has equal rights in your life so they can make decisions and stuff. Suppose if you are in a hospital for an emergency situation, your husband will have more rights than a boyfriend ever will. So in those kinds of situations, obviously in a live-in relationship, kids become very difficult because the legalities around kids becomes very difficult. Who gets to call the shots? Is it the female parent or the male parent? Because you are not a family anymore. You're you're a living together couple, but you are not legally a family. So a lot of it is legalities. I was speaking to my mother because I went to the wedding and I came back and I was talking to her. And she told me that because we're Hindus, in the Hindu marriage, the fairas that you take is around the fire, which is the pious fire, right? And when you do the fairas and you make those promises to the people, to the person that you're doing it to, and then they do the sindoor and the mangal sutra as an act of, commitment forever. Apparently, at that very moment, your respect and your bond and your spiritual connection really deepens with the person. I obviously cannot vouch for it because we've not experienced it, but according to my mother, I don't know if she's just a Karan Johar fan and a big romantic at heart, or if this actually happens, but this is something that she credits marriages to, is that the religious ceremonies play a major part in deepening the connection, which is why marriages and weddings are important.
But can I ask you a question? You said spiritual what again?
Spiritual bond.
But don't you think spiritually or spirituality is between me and my faith? How is someone else?
No, say you can be spiritually connected to people, right? You can, like, I could feel spiritually connected to somebody despite, and it's not like it's depending on faith. We are Hindus, which is why she's given us a Hindu example. I'm sure every religion has their own way of spiritually connecting people,
Right.
right?
Okay.
And especially into a lifelong bond like marriage, I'm sure everybody has. And if you're non-religious, then I'm sure you have some way of feeling connected to the other person. So It's just basically about strengthening that connection, and according to her, that connection gets really strengthened and really deepened when you take those feras and you really commit to one another for life.
Kushi, I think we need to experiment.
Nobody's getting married, nobody's going around
I'll
the
tell you to
feras.
get married so you can like see if that is actually true. Because I don't know. Like, I
If
mean,
it happens, we'll tell you.
until XYZ years more, we will not know the answer to this question.
Technically, the Kalira did fall on me at the wedding. It was a Punjabi wedding, and the Kalira fell on me, so there is a chance.
That you get
And
married?
three leaves fell on me. So my logic is that I have 3 years to start looking for a person. I'm 23 now. I will start looking for someone at 26 if I ever intend to get married, but I don't intend to. The Kalira wants me to. And my brother was so happy when the Kalira fell on me. He's like, finally, she's leaving the house. And I was just like, excuse me. But that's such a weird thing that why do we have to leave the house? Like, why is it called, Kanya Dan and Ladki Ja Rahi Hai? I never understand that.
Can I quote our favorite movie again?
A Rocky Rani?
Yeah. Did you see
Okay,
in the
then.
last Kudmai song,
Mm,
Kanyadan was done from both ends. And
yeah.
that comes to like my other point I was thinking, right? In this day and age, women are so career driven. They're looking for someone who may be emotionally in the same wavelength as they are, compatible.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, because of so many restrictions, or the fact that, otherwise it'd be like, okay, you know what, the guy's in US, you're in India, okay, you get married, you move to US and look for a job there, or you start your career there, or whatever. But
Yeah.
I know so many cases where women are like, hey, I am doing this over here. If you want to get married to me, maybe either long distance or maybe you have to move here. I am not moving to where you are.
Okay.
And they're so career focused and career driven. And I'm pretty sure that also plays a huge part into the whole concept of marriage and how different it is. I feel like
Firstly, more power, man.
women have a say, you know.
Yeah. Now we do, and more power. But I think that is why the dynamics of a marriage are also changing, right? Because the roles are shifting, the roles are changing, and everybody's trying to find their balance, right? Earlier, it was that the woman used to take care of the house and the man used to go out and earn. But now it's both ways, right? Like now the man also takes care of the house and the woman also goes out and earns. So with the roles shifting, people are really questioning if a marriage is really necessary or is this something that they can do, because maybe some women are not able to find partners that they would like to have, because like you mentioned, the number of factors that are required in finding a husband has increased. They
Yeah.
need to be emotionally mature. They need to be, and I mean, all of these are very valid points. When you're finding a husband, you should be as picky as you want, or like when you're finding a wife, you should be as picky as you want, because this is a lifetime commitment, like supposed to be a lifetime commitment that doesn't ever change. So it should be pickiness.
I remember because I was looking for like talking points for this episode, and I was just looking in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said this line where they were like, in the past, marriage, people used to get married and stay unhappy due to because the society would expect them to do so.
Expect them to, yes.
Now people are married and they stay in their marriage because they're happy and they choose each other every day.
Yes.
So there is a chance to like maybe walk away, and people, there may be like a ratio, a lot of majority of people who would still be in unhappy relationship because of the society, right? Like a thought process can't be changed instantaneously.
Yeah.
But there is also a change in like the Indian society and Indian where people are normalizing divorces and normalizing putting
Can I
themselves
ask you
first.
something though?
Yeah.
Not, and this is not to offend anybody, but is divorce something that should be normalized or something that should be destigmatized?
Mm, can you explain more? My brain is braining right now. It needs some time.
So basically divorce has always been a taboo subject, right?
Hmm.
And there's always a stigma, a negative stigma around divorce,
Hmm.
that divorce is very bad, divorce is, this and that. And that is why a lot of people, even in abusive marriages, would never walk out, because of the societal thinking that divorce is shameful, basically, right? I'm asking, should divorces be normalized? Which is that a divorce is normal, it's completely apart. Like, suppose marriage is normal in our society. This a supposed concept is normal in our society. Do you think divorces should be normalized or divorces should be destigmatized?
I think destigmatize,
I agree, because
not
to me,
normalized.
essentially, exactly, like, to me, I think it's become very normalized to the point where marriages which are supposed to be a lifelong commitment are, you are thinking, and you should have all kinds of thoughts before you ever choose to commit to somebody, right? Have all kinds of thoughts, think of everything, think of how would this person be if we were to get divorced. Like, do you think they would be extremely bitter? Do you think they would be this? But once you commit, unless obviously you're in an abusive marriage and this, and there's no like reasons that I can suggest, because I've never been in marriages, I've never been in those situations, but to me, from an outer perspective, they're getting too normalized to the point where I don't know if marriages are lasting that long, and it's scary.
But can I ask this question? Do you think a lot of people in our generation are doing live-ins because they are scared of the idea of marriage, as well as maybe what if in the future we get divorced?
Yes. I think we spoke about it in our last episode as well, right? Like in a couple of back, that the fear of failing in relationships is major. And divorce essentially means a failed marriage. It's always called a failed marriage. Uh, and that is why there's a lot of fear, which is why I think kids these days, just to avoid that fear, choose to not even think about it, right? Like, if you ask a lot of kids these days, they're like, no, we don't want to get married, we don't want to do this, we don't want to ever be a part of something of that sort, because what if it doesn't work out, and what if then? I think
But
as a society we need to, destigmatize divorce 100%. It is completely fine. You are not a shameful part of society if you're a divorcee. You have equal right to live in this society as happily, as freely, as spontaneously, and as yourself as everybody else. But marriages also require a lot of work, is what we've heard.
I also feel like in life, Kushi, we evolve as human beings, right?
Correct.
Like, let's remove all the other factors as to why people get divorced. But in life, you as an individual will evolve.
Yes.
And there would be a time, and there can be a time where me and my partner don't see eye
Evolve
to eye.
differently.
Yeah, evolve differently. So at a point like that, do I stay with this partner because, oh, I love them, hence I am still with them? Or is it that maybe for my satisfaction or for my betterment,
Happiness, yes.
my growth, my happiness, I'd rather step away?
You make sense. See, it's a very valid point, right? Evolution of people in different tangents 100% makes sense. And that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not sure if it should be something that should be normalized or destigmatized, is because it's a very confusing concept in my head, because it's extremely paradoxical to what marriage is. But when a couple gets separated, also it makes complete sense,
Yeah.
right? Because marriages are supposed to be lifelong, but people are evolving. But the thing is, then I have a question. There are marriages that I've seen that break apart in a year or 2 years, and this is not to shame anybody, but then I'm so confused as to if the evolution rate of people has increased as compared to previous generations, or did people not know what they were going to be walking into post marriage? Like, they hadn't discussed a few things, and then those few things turned out to be major, like suppose financial compatibility or emotional compatibility or living situations. Is it that? Because when you're saying evolution as a person, and you grow differently, I'm sure that is over the course of a couple of years or a decade or so, right? You don't just evolve today and tomorrow you're separate, and to me that doesn't make sense.
I feel like, at least in Indian societies, women in the past were expected to get married so early on. And I've heard that your brain fully, completely develops only by the age of 25. And
Yeah.
my mom has, like, me and my mom have had so many conversations where she said a lot of things, maybe through social media, maybe through internet, that I may know at the age of 22, she may have like known more about it at the age of 30, 35.
Right.
So when you are exploring or getting to know yourself that late, then your priorities may change. Do I make sense? I don't know. Like,
Yeah. No, that makes sense. You're right, that makes sense.
so maybe that's the reason. And I feel like that's what I am very scared of. Like, if someone tells me, okay, get married by like 25, 26, or even, I don't know, maybe 28, and maybe right now I'm 23, and that's why I'm looking into the future, it scares me. Maybe at that age I may be more secure, but I feel and I think marriage is a huge responsibility, regardless of it going
Agreed.
to a divorce or whatever. Like, I wouldn't get into a relationship thinking of the ending of the relationship,
End.
right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe a relationship is okay, but the second a conversation of marriage comes into picture,
Yes.
it's not.
The intensity of everything increases.
Yes, and until then it was between me and that person, and now it is not only me and that person, it is both of our families combined, our friends combined,
Yeah.
which is a lot. And regardless of people saying, yes, obviously if I ever get married, I would like to maybe mostly stay in a nuclear family, because I have grown up in a nuclear family. But at the same time, the responsibilities or like will not change. Like, I call
Yeah.
my parents every day, and maybe the other person also may do. And what if his parents expect me to call every, like, I don't know. Like, I have never gotten married, so I don't know what are the responsibilities of a marriage. But
Yeah.
I am very scared of marriage responsibilities also. Like, it's something that I am very scared. Like, I don't know how it works out. I don't think it's just a ritual and
Yeah.
it's done, dusted.
No, of course, it's
And
a lifelong thing.
and I think that's another reason. Like, a lot of people there are so many things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe finding the right person makes all these fights or struggles seem worth it.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, there's a chance of divorce, there's a chance of different things. What if there's a chance of you and your mother-in-law or your sister-in-law or whoever-in-law not getting together or getting along? What if the person and you change or evolve completely? I feel like it's a constant evolvement,
Yeah.
a constant effort that you put with
I think it's
your
constant
partner.
effort, and yes, constant effort and alignment with your partner, but that makes sense. And that's not even something this time your fear is not something we can even like talk out and
But
help
I
each other
think
out with, because both of us have the same fear.
But I think maybe this is an age factor.
Yeah. I think it's normal. See, it's normal to have this fear at the age of 23 because everybody that I tell that, I don't want to get married, they were like, हाँ हम भी तुम्हारी उम्र में यही बोलते थे. So it's okay. And I'm like, okay, fair. And I tell them, I'm like, okay, if you're 40 and, you're telling me this at the age of 40, 45 and you're happily married, I'll take that. I'll take me saying the same thing at 22 because it could mean a different future for me and I'm okay with that. But yeah.
But
Should
I
we...
No, but
Sorry,
what I would,
continue.
and obviously it's a constant effort, but I don't think either of us is scared of being alone. Do I make sense? Or is it,
Yeah.
or do you think it's like, I feel like all of this is because of our age. Maybe if we are like in our mid 30s to late 30s, maybe the whole idea, because right now we have so many other things to figure out.
Yeah.
For me at least, like I wouldn't even think about marriage or any of that until I'm settled in my career, right?
Yeah.
Like career, my investments maybe are perfect or whatever. Like there are so many things which need my attention right now.
Yeah.
But what if nothing works out? So we're
So
alone,
you're
me and
right,
Kushi,
because
in the old age home.
loneliness and solitude are very different. Solitude is when you choose to be, and loneliness is when you are. And when you grow older, obviously companionship is very needed. So it could be. And plus the thing is, once you reach, like right now also all of us friends are at a very similar time frame, similar headspace. None of us are married. Everybody is on the same kind of priorities, the same career, friends, fun, travel, masti karo, chill karo. Obviously if you are 35 and unmarried, and you have friends who are married and have children and this and that, then your friendships also change. So I think the loneliness can hit from all sides then, because then you might not have that many friends to hang out with as well. So it makes sense that it's also an age thing right now. And I think we can see how we evolve into the future. But shall we move into our next segment?
1 second, guys. If both me and Kushi don't get married, me and Kushi in old age home together walking around. Call Kar Yaaar
Yes,
at
we're
age
doing
of
Call Kar
52.
Yaaar. Yes. With like it's a dentures in our mouth, we will go, yeah.
But moving on to our next segment, dive in deep.
This year for Christmas I want dive in deep.
I have a question. I'm gonna
Okay.
ask first.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I know that you may not or do not want to get ready or not get ready. Wow,
I
not
was like, I'm fully ready right now. What are you talking about?
get married. But if I had to ask you, what would be like your key takeaway from your parents' marriage? What would it
Ooh. Oh, wow,
on
that
the
is an
spot, huh?
interesting
be?
question.
My brain is braining today because of your questions. Okay.
Damn. Okay, so spoiler alert, my parents' relationship, their love story is my favorite love story ever. I love them. They've shown me what a real marriage looks like. It's not a perfect marriage, it's not an ideal marriage, it's a real marriage. I think after a point of time, they've had conversations with us when it has gotten like real and honest, and
Raw.
we've appreciated that. Raw. And we've appreciated that. One key takeaway. I think the one key takeaway that I've seen is you can be your own person apart from your partner. And that's very important in a marriage.
Yeah.
Is to not lose yourself. I think both my parents have retained their individuality beautifully, and that's what's gotten them this far. They're going to be finishing 25 years next year, and it's their silver jubilee, and we're going to be celebrating. But it's and I think trying to do some things together, Like my mom put in an actual effort to get into running with my dad, and now they're running an ultra marathon on their anniversary. They're literally bringing in their anniversary running. So it's very cute that they keep finding things to do. So I think that just like having fun and not taking everything too seriously.
Makes sense.
Now, my
Cute.
question.
Mm-hmm.
My question is a little serious, but in an Indian household, we always know that parents or South Asian dynamics, parents always are involved. Do you think parents should be this involved in a marriage?
I think. What do you mean by this involved? Is it monetary wise or relationship wise?
No. See, monetary support is completely fine. I mean, that could also depend from person to person, right? Like, and that is your alignment. But to me, like, there are a lot of times where couples consult their parents before making a decision for the couple.
Oh,
Or
no.
Okay.
No. I feel
It was a very strong no. There were 3 no's. The no's echoed.
see, that's the thing I've told you also, right? Like my relationship with you as a person, right? You and me and you being besties. If something goes wrong or off,
Yeah.
a third person may not be able to understand
Navigate that.
or navigate that, right? I 100% I go to my parents for almost all my life decisions, right? I ask them for their advice, I sit with them, etc. But when it comes to both of us, hopefully whoever this us is,
Oh, I thought us.
no, not us, you're out. This has become
Mr.
a very
Kanani is getting
stagnant
too
relationship.
romantic. Mr. Kanani is getting too romantic with me today.
No, I would obviously speak to my parents if it's like a huge decision, right?
Yeah.
But to take that step forward, or to obviously, and I'll have full transparency with whoever my partner is, but whatever the step is, I would want to discuss and keep it, know each other's story. Because imagine if it's like maybe buying a house, that being very very small decision in a way, not a small decision, obviously monetary wise huge, but like, okay, house everyone needs at the end of the day, but that conversation for
Car.
car is a depreciating asset, please, no.
Okay, fair.
That's not like the first thing I would get. But imagine the decision for both of us to get a house is between both of us. Obviously, if both of us are ready to take it, then obviously we can consult other people outside. Okay, what's a house? Oh, Amacha, what do you think this decision is? XYZ. But imagine if I am so ready to take a house and the other person isn't, then going and talking to other people is just stabbing that person behind his back, in a way.
Yeah.
Do I make sense? And house is a very small thing. It can be an argument, and the second it goes outside the 4 walls, it can get, what is it, amplified? Am I correct?
Amplified.
Yeah. My English sometimes not Englishing, especially when Kushi has such big questions to me. But I feel like it can get amplified regardless.
Fair.
And if he is my husband, he is their son-in-law. Kushi, will you be my wife? Okay. He is their son-in-law. So why would I want to maybe put a negative image of him to them? But I also know, saying all this, that sometimes I can't keep my mouth shut in front of my parents. And so, disclaimer. And I blabber a lot to my parents. So
She has a podcast with her parents also, guys.
So, but
It's just
like,
not aired.
So hopefully in 6, 7, 10 years I learn the art of keeping shut. And maybe not.
Thank the Lord. Please. There are
But
some
more than
details
that,
not everybody
I
needs to know.
feel, for me at least, it's like a safety net, right?
Yeah.
So that's very important.
Fair. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Chalo,
Let's go.
fold
You-
our hands
no.
and keep a Karwa Chauth vrat and find an Ananya husband.
No, I'm manifesting first, and please stop.
Okay.
My manifestation is I've heard from a little cuckoo bird telling me that Kushi is not eating that well and not listening to her beautiful parents who I love. So hopefully Kushi starts eating more, gets more healthy, and I don't know, like it's her relationship with food, but whatever, if she's going through something and I don't know, and if I know I'm not telling in this podcast, everything gets sorted soon.
My
That's
mom's
it.
paid her to say this, by the way, guys.
No, love you, auntie, but no. I know auntie's concerns in life. Me and auntie have telepathy.
Okay, do you have any other manifestations?
Hopefully, everyone who. No, actually, I should not hopefully manifest that. No, thank you.
Okay. I manifest that Ananya is happy in life with her husband and that she's forever blessed with love, with harmony, and with peace.
Rest in peace. Thank you.
Shut up, ek pagal aurat.
Hello,
Okay.
universe.
What's up, brother?
We love you, and we love you guys. So, see you soon. Bye bye.